Hello everybody. Welcome to KMMC ProStart, a learning initiative by Kotak Mutual Fund. In a continuous learning process through video modules, today we have come up with a module which is known as Dreams Make Them Happen. I am Ms. Meenakshi Dubey, Manager Sales Training with Kotak Mutual Fund. So, as earlier you have seen, our modules are divided into multiple videos. So similarly, Dreams Make Them Happen is also divided into two videos, that is video 1 and video 2. In video 1, we will be covering points like what are dreams, what is financial independence, okay, what is the right income breakup that we should follow in life, what is the contingency planning, if I have enough money to save, where to save, and what should be the ideal tenure, how investments should be made considering the post-tax, and how wealth can be created through simple SIPs. Okay. Let us now move ahead with our module. So first of all, let us talk about dreams. What do you mean by dreams? Okay, so if I want my dreams to be fulfilled, if I want tomorrow or after a few years, if I want my dreams to be to become a reality, the thing I need to remember is that if I want my dreams to come true, I will have to put efforts. That means, do remember, efforts are mandatory because dreams don't work unless you do. Right? So whenever I dream and to achieve that, okay, to make that dream come true, we all know that lots and lots of efforts are required. And if I have to talk about what is one kind of a dream that everybody wishes, okay, or everybody has, that is financial independence. Okay, everybody wishes to have a financial independence. It is like a dream come true because I want the freedom to earn. At the same time, I want the freedom to spend my money, to make the right investments, to make the right backup for myself and for my family. So financial independence is one of the dreams that is actually common for many, many people, right? Be it a student, be it a housewife, be it, anybody who is 40-year-old or anybody who is 70-year-old. Even in our retirement also, the first thing that we would like to have is to have a financially independence so that I am not a burden to anybody, right? So to have this financial independence, there are certain hygiene factors that we need to consider. And first in that category is to have the right income breakup. Okay, so it is important that the income that we get post-tax deduction has to be put into the right, or has to be allocated in the right fashion so that every requirement of my life is taken care of. So 50% of my net post-tax income should be allocated towards essentials. Now, if I have to talk about what are essentials, every expenses that is required to run my day-to-day life is known as essentials. Example, groceries, EMI, rent, insurance, my travel, my utility bills, entertainment, miscellaneous, etc., etc. These are the things which I need to spend money on in my day-to-day life. So 50% of my net post-tax income I will allocate towards the essentials. 20% I will give towards leisure. Okay, now if I have to talk about leisure, okay, things like my vacations, my functions, okay, the family functions that we all have throughout the year, and the festivals, right? So we all know that there is a lot of amount that is being spent on the family functions and the festivals that we have throughout the year, right? Plus now slowly we all are getting into that habit, or getting into that lifestyle that we feel, yes, at least once in a year a vacation is required, which is like a really good thing. So now what has happened is 50% has been allocated towards essentials, 20% towards leisure, and I still have 30%. So this 30% of my post-tax income should be definitely towards the investments. Okay, or rather I would like to put it in this way, that 30% has to be towards my investment. Whatever adjustment I have to do between this 70%, that is 20% from the leisure, and 50% from the essentials. So this is the right income breakup that we need to follow. Second and very important is contingency planning. Now, what is contingency planning, first of all? Okay. Remember one thing, okay? Any kind of investment backup that I've created for myself, okay? If I don't have a planned emergency exit in case of emergency situations, definitely the income backup that I've created, the wealth I've created for myself and my future generation is going to get compromised. So contingency planning, when I talk about contingency planning, what I mean to say is we need to save for the rainy day, right? Wherein we come across unexpected, unfortunate events in the life. Pandemic was such a classic example, right? We never thought that ever in our life we will see a situation while the entire world will be shut. There have been many families who has lost their jobs, who have faced salary cuts, right? So that is the reason this contingency planning is required. A certain amount has to be saved and kept into the right investment so that in any point of time, let's say, if there is an emergency, okay, emergency could be in various forms. It could be in the form of pandemic. It could be in the form of death of the main family member, disability, job loss, anything. It can be anything, right? But does my life stops? The answer is no, right? I will have to keep spending to survive each and every day. So this is what my contingency fund will help me to survive. Now the question is, how much money should be allocated towards the contingency fund? So as per the calculations, up to 6 months of essential expenses should be kept into the contingency fund. So if I have to take my previous example and the previous slide, assuming my net income post tax is 1 lakh rupees. Okay, my net income post tax is 1 lakh rupees, 50% is towards essentials. So if I have to think how much is the contingency fund for me, so 50,000 into 6 months is equal to 3 lakhs. 3 lakhs should be my contingency fund. Now the question comes, where do I save this fund? Okay, because I cannot keep it idle. So I have certain traditional investments, which is like I can invest into a fixed deposit or do an RD, or I can just keep into a saving bank account, which will give me around 4.5 to 5%. I can invest into post office products, or I can keep cash at home. So these are typically the investment avenues which are going to give me less returns. Okay. What could be the ideal investment path for this? Best is I could invest into liquid funds or to dynamic bond funds, okay, which will give me feasibility to liquidate at any time. Plus, it will also give me better returns as compared to the traditional investments. Now, if I have to do this investments into liquid funds or dynamic funds, I can do it through SIP. I can do it through lump sum, or I can also do it in tranches. So continuing with my example, I have to keep 3 lakh rupees aside. Okay. So either I keep a lump sum 3 lakh rupees, or what I can do is I can do a monthly SIP of around 25,000 rupees, and almost in a year or a couple of more months, what will happen is I will have my 3 lakhs fund available, which can be kept into contingency fund, and further it should be again invested into the ideal investment category. The next is tenure. Whatever fund I have and I want to go for investment, it is very, very important for me to decide the tenure, because even if I have to talk about contingency fund, may God bless us that we never come into a situation where we have to invest where we have to utilize the contingency fund. Okay, we have made it, we have invested it, that's it. Okay. Now, the other investments that I have to make in life to create a wealth backup for myself. Okay. So typically the tenure is being divided into 3 parts. Okay. It is known as short term, medium term, and long term. So any investments that I do between 1 to 3 years come under the short term category. From 3 to 10 years comes into medium term category, and any investment for which the tenure is 10 years and above goes into the long term category. Okay, my ideal focus should be into the medium category. because we have always seen that any investments typically into mutual funds, over 3 years, 5 years, or 7 year horizon, you get a very good returns over it. Okay, so short term, I believe, is should be out of our list. In fact, I'll tell you, whenever I do an SIP, okay, I do not decide a term. I keep all my SIPs perpetual. Okay, let it continue, let it continue. And because my aim is very simple, I want to have, it is always said, right, retirement is the golden period. So I want to have that lifestyle also in that way only. So I have kept all my SIPs perpetual. Going forward, let us see investing 30% of post-tax income, because here we are talking about investing, right? So let us see how do we do this. Now here, this is the gentleman here, okay, whose annual post-tax income is 4 lakh rupees. Now, as we said, 30% should be allocated towards investments. So 1,20,000 will be 30% of 4 lakh. So how do I invest this 1,20,000? Rather than investing it lump sum, it is better I do an SIP of 10,000 rupees. Now this SIP can be diversified into 2 or 3 mutual funds. It is not that 10,000 rupees I have to put into one scheme. No, mutual fund is all about diversification, right? So this 10,000 has to be divided into 2 or 3 mutual fund schemes. Now let us see a small calculation, because we are talking here about wealth creation, right? What this 10,000 can do for me in a longer term. So this slide will help you understand how we can do a wealth creation through SIP. Okay, we'll take the same example. 10,000 rupees is being invested. Okay, so if I invest 10,000 rupees for 5 years, my investment would be 6 lakhs. For 10 years, my investment would be 12 lakhs. For 15 years, 18 lakhs, and for 20 years, my investment would be 24 lakh. Now let us see what is the corpus that I can get. Okay, if I assume returns at 12%. Okay, in 5 years, my 6 lakh grows to 8.11 lakh rupees. Not a very high movement, but let us see how it goes further. When I think about 10 years, now see here, from here you'll start seeing the difference. In 10 years, my 12 lakh becomes 22.40 lakhs. In 15 years, my 18 lakh becomes 47.59 lakh rupees. And in 20 years, my 24 lakh rupees becomes 91.98 lakh rupees. A massive growth with just 10,000 rupees per month for 20 years, right? So by the end of my retirement, okay, what I can see is I will be near around to have a wealth which is near about 1 crore of rupees. Okay, so that is all in today's video. In our next video, we'll see how can one become a crorepati without participating into KVC. Okay, what are the goal-based investments? We will also see what are the asset classes, instruments that are available for investments, and few tips on investments. Last but not the least, here is a slide through which you can connect with us. You can write to us or you can join our broadcast group. You just have to save this number and send a hi with your name, ARN number and location, and we will add you to the broadcast group. And yes, please subscribe to our channel, which is KMMC ProStart on YouTube, and click onto the notification button. Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.